What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a little bit of a different background here, and I got my guy Connor. He's a real human being. He's not AI. I didn't make him up. Connor, we're actually on my balcony right now. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, obviously we're out here in Scottsdale, and we're having this event. I guess if you want to tell me at first a little bit about you, what you do, and we can go from there.
Absolutely. So first of all, dude, this weekend has been absolutely life-changing. I walked in here and I'm like, I don't really know what to expect. I've never gone to anything like this, and just being able to meet everybody within the program and realizing there's a real human being sitting across me from that screen is definitely life-changing, getting to network with all these people. But kind of what I do is I do something that I guarantee 98% of the people watching this have never heard of, something called posture therapy. And it is 100% the thing that wakes me up in the morning that I'm passionate to do. So I got into it because I had 3 elbow surgeries in high school that pretty much ruined my career. I couldn't throw a baseball for over 6 years without shots of electricity into my hand. I went to the Mayo Clinic, I went to the Cincinnati Reds team doctor, and not one single person that I talked to could explain to me why I was having these issues. And I've got an identical twin brother who didn't have that, was a perfect game All-American, played at Mizzou, drafted by the Cardinals, and is now in AAA. And I'm like, fuck, what made me different? And I didn't get that answer until I was 21 and I found posture therapy. And pretty much it explained to me that my body wasn't in the position to move correctly, that I put too much stress onto these body parts, and ultimately they failed. And tried 3 exercises, and I didn't have the shot and electricity in my hand for the first time in 6 years. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's incredible, dude. I think it's so cool that you have such a powerful story, and I think obviously you're a smart guy and you have so many good things to say. I guess, what do you think is the biggest thing that differentiates you from other coaches?
At least within my specific kind of niche, I would say I've gotten on multiple calls where at the end of it, even if that person didn't end up buying from me, they're like, thank you so much for sitting down and taking the time to explain this to me. I've gotten on multiple calls with other people, and it just feels like they want to take my money and never talk to me again. And I'm not getting that vibe from you. And that means a lot to me, because I didn't get into this business just to make an exuberant amount of money and never talk to the athletes. I really wanted to deem my success off of the success of my athletes. And if I was able to help somebody get a college scholarship or ultimately make a debut coming back from the IL because they couldn't stay healthy, to me, that's a success. And that was how I was going to fulfill my dream of not being able to play professional baseball. And I'm really proud to say that I've been able to do that. I've been doing this for 1 year for myself now. And I'm working with over 20 minor leaguer indie ball guys. I've got over 6 Division I guys, over 10 guys at different various levels across college baseball. And just being able to watch their success and their journey to go from being in chronic pain or coming back from surgery and regain this confidence and trust in their body and be able to go on the field and achieve everything that they've ever desired is really fulfilling for me.
Yeah. I think what's super cool is you have such a strong why, and you've kept that at the center of your business now too, right? Obviously, you want to continue to grow, you want to continue to scale, but not at the expense of your athletes' results. And that's actually something that we've talked about a little bit. If you want to talk about maybe how you've been able to scale online while still getting results from your athletes.
Absolutely. So first, it started with figuring out, how am I going to change this program model to continue to get the same level of results for less one-to-one time for me? Because I was capped at the amount of hours that I had, the amount of guys that I could help. And for somebody who wants to take over the world and help everybody, that's a lonely feeling to have. I can't. So I had to make a change. And you just asking me this simple question of, well, what do you need to do? And it's like, why don't I have an answer to that? That seems so basic. And just kind of figuring out, well, if I have this model where I give them all of the information that I would give to them in person, but now I do it in 10-minute in a video recording versus a 60-minute call. You send me all your exercises just like we would do on the call, and then I watch it, hit you with feedback of what we need to change. And I'm able to get the same results, if not better, for less of my time, less of the athlete's time, and not a single person has complained about the model or the switch of it. And that was something that I was terrified to do. I was like, if I'm working with somebody and they expect one program from me and now I have a completely different offer, like they're not going to want to do it. And that was just the wrong frame to be viewing that question in. It was the limiting belief of, I don't know if I can do this. And it was more like, no, well, you can do it. You just got to figure out how to do it. And I thought what Alec was talking about and kind of reverse engineering of where do we want to be and what are the steps that we have to do to actually get there? Not I have to do 1, 2, 3 to get to here. No, I got to do 3, 2, 1 and work it back to actually be able to figure out what I want to do to progress forward.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting how you're able to compartmentalize like these problems in your brain and come up with solutions. I think that's awesome. And something that, you really struggled with, especially when I told you to change your fulfillment model, was your price point.
Yes.
And like taking money from these people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you want to talk about how your price points have changed and kind of how you've changed the frame with the athletes that you're working with, because I'll let you talk about it.
So originally what I was doing is I was charging what I thought was a high ticket price for my service when really it was a slap in my face and a slap to the athlete's face. Because if I'm charging you I was like, if I charge such a low price, nobody can say no to me. Like, this makes so much sense. It helped me. It helped all these other people. Why wouldn't you want to do it? And it's like, if I'm charging you $800 to get your body right, would have no chronic pain, you're going to look at me and go, what's the catch? And that's what they weren't telling me that on the call, but that's what I could pick up. It was like, you seem really confident in what this is, but the price point that you're charging doesn't reflect that confidence. So really it came down to like getting on a call with you and you're like, dude, you need to double your price point. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go more than double. I was like, if I'm going to do that, I'm at least going to do it all the way. Right. So I upped it and the next sale call, boom, went through. I'm like, okay. Next sale call went through. I went 5 for 5 when I doubled my price point. I'm like, holy shit, dude, I just made 10K. Like, what? Made 10K for less of my time. The athlete gets the same result. We're all happy. I get more time and financial freedom. I'm like, dude, I left California because I was making terrible pay, working with people that I didn't really want to work with. And now I've been able to cultivate this into something that I'm really proud of and that I can see the future of what this can really be and how I can take over the industry. Because unlike a lot of these other people in the program that are doing hitting or pitching or kind of like these other very specific things within sport, I've got the most niche thing here. And I had to change my mindset of, you're not going to pay me because you don't know what I do, to, no, you're going to pay me because you don't know what I do. And as soon as I made that change and I brought that onto the sales calls, things just got exponentially better. And I'm really excited to see kind of where it can go.
100%. 100%. What are your goals in the next 12 months? Let's put them on record. It's going on my channel.
On record? Let's see. I want to get a better apartment. I know you're trying to get me to move out to Phoenix, so I got to contemplate that heavily because there's so much, like, dude, there's 2 states in the U.S. for baseball, in my opinion, especially with what I want to do. Florida, have no interest in living there, and Phoenix. Like, if you want to be around high-level baseball people all the time, this is the place to be. And I think just finding a way to continue to cultivate the circle around me and have other entrepreneurs and people that are further ahead of me to push me, rather than just kind of staying complacent with who I already know and what I'm comfortable with. Whether I leave Chicago or not, I think is kind of up in the air, but definitely like take a step up, bet on myself, get a nice place that I want to live in. I want a Rolex. I'm putting that on record. If I don't have a Rolex in 12 months, somebody slap the shit out of me. And then other than that, man, I told you that I think I have a $250,000 business that I can run by myself, and I think I can do it minimum $250,000 a quarter. And like, I really think like after this weekend, and I know you told me that I could do a $250,000 a month, and I see the path of how to get there. Now, obviously that's like a long way in the future, maybe not as long as I think it is, but just like walking out of here with the clarity of the steps that I need to take to actually fulfill what I know that I'm worth and what my athletes are worth, and everything that comes with that is something that I'm really excited to continue to pursue.
No, it's Literally incredible. And quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that you need to buy a Rolex or get a nice place to be happy.
No,
Although
but it certainly helps.
It certainly makes it easier. I just want to say, dude, that you've come so far since I've met you. Not just obviously like you're making more money, and like we can talk all about the money all day long, but at the end of the day, money is a direct result of the value that you can provide.
Absolutely.
And the skill sets that you have, and just the step up that you've made with like just your conviction and your confidence, and you see the path, you know exactly what you need to do. That doesn't mean it's always easy and that you're not going to have challenges, but I think now you really embrace, you're really embracing the journey. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know what you're worth, and you gave a presentation, and dude, you like really commanded the room. And I mean, I never saw you present before we started working together, but I bet you wouldn't have, dropped your balls on the table like you did during the presentation.
No, I wouldn't have. I mean, there's one thing that I really love doing and that I am really good at, and that's educating people. And I have such a niche thing that I get to educate people on, and nobody knows what I'm talking about, and I just get to geek out on it. Like whether I'm talking to somebody who knows a little bit more about the body and I can go really deep into that conversation, or just like, hey, here's what I do at like a really high level, and everybody that I talk to looks at me and goes, dude, why have I not heard of this sooner? It's like, well, everybody's going to hear about it because I'm going to make sure you hear about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. I feel the exact same way. Like taking responsibility to make people aware of what's actually possible, mm-hmm. and showing them that the problems that they face their entire life don't have to be problems anymore. They just have to be willing to change and accept things as they are, not as they think they are.
Absolutely. And I think there's like one thing that everybody in this earth should do, and that is bet on yourself. If you're not willing to bet on yourself, why would anybody else bet on you? And if you aren't willing to sink money into your own future, your own commitments, your own passions, then dude, you're floating through life and you're not doing what's worth it. And like every penny that I have put into myself and into this program has been returned to me 5x within 6 months. And I'm like, dude, I would pay you $1 million to get in here if I knew what I knew now. I'm like, dude, this is the thing that is going to take you to ultimately having the time and financial freedom that you want. Now, like you always say, it's not easy. Like there's days that I get up, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do anything right now. Like I just want to lay in bed and do absolutely nothing. And I got to force myself to take the action to take those steps forward, because if I sit there and do nothing all day, I got to think about the athlete that I'm not reaching and not helping. Yeah. And you always talk about like, it's your moral obligation to do this thing, to be able to help the people that you want to help. And if you aren't willing to do that, then you might be in the wrong space.
Yeah. Well, we'll cap it off there, dude. Connor, I appreciate you so much coming out here, dude. You've really transformed, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a man. And
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, dude.
I want to put one more thing on the record. I'm buying him Oceans 44 during spring training.
We're going to be hosting more events. But Connor, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you, Nick.